Most cat owners are doing something every single day that's slowly pushing their cat away, and they have absolutely no idea it's happening. You think you're being a great owner. You think your cat loves everything you do. But the truth, some of the most common ways people show love to their cats are being completely misread. Not ignored, misread. Your cat is getting a different message than the one you're sending. And here's what makes this so frustrating. These aren't rare mistakes. They're things you're probably doing right now, today, multiple times a day. But here's the good news. There are 7 things, each one takes under a minute, that will completely change how your cat sees you. Not just as their owner, not just as the person who fills the bowl as their person, the one they choose above anyone else in the world. Welcome to Feline Mind. If you're new here, subscribe right now because what we're about to cover changes everything. Think about what happens the moment you walk through that front door. Your cat appears suddenly, weaving, rubbing, chirping, maybe even scratching something just to have something to do with all that energy. And what do most owners do? They look at the cat and say move or stop. Or they walk away until the cat settles down. It makes sense on the surface. You don't want to reward the chaos. You've probably read that ignoring the behavior is the right call. But here's what nobody is telling you about what's actually happening inside your cat's brain in that moment. Cats are territorial animals wired for reunion rituals. In the wild, when colony members return after being apart, there's an entire social exchange that takes place. Greeting behaviors, scent marking, vocalizations. It's not random excitement. It's a bonding protocol that's been hardwired into cats for thousands of years. That moment of reunion is one of the most emotionally significant moments of your cat's entire day. When you shut it down, even calmly, even with the best of intentions, your cat doesn't understand why the ritual was cut short. Over time, cats in these households show lower levels of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, during greetings. The excitement doesn't go away, it just becomes anxiety. Here's what the science actually supports instead. A study published in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science found that cats who received warm, engaged greetings from their owners showed significantly lower cortisol levels throughout the rest of the day, not just in the moment, for hours afterward. So, the daily habit is this: when you walk through that door, give your cat 30 seconds. Get on their level, let them scent you, talk to them, let the reunion actually happen. You're not rewarding chaos. You're completing a biological script your cat has been waiting all day to finish. 30 seconds and your cat will be calmer, more settled, and more bonded to you for the rest of the evening because of it. But that's just the beginning, because the next one is something almost every owner does during what they think is their most loving moment with their cat. And it's doing the opposite of what they intend. You've probably stared into your cat's eyes and felt something real. That deep, quiet connection that doesn't need words. And you'd be right to feel that. There's actually extraordinary science behind what happens when cats and humans lock eyes. A landmark study out of Azabu University in Japan found that mutual eye contact between cats and their owners causes a spike in oxytocin in both the cat and the human. Eye contact literally triggers the bonding system in both species simultaneously. Here's where it goes wrong. Most people stare at their cats the wrong way. Sustained, unblinking, intense eye contact, even from someone the cat loves, can read as a challenge, as pressure, as confrontation. Cats communicate dominance and threat through hard, unblinking stares. So, when you hold that gaze too long with too much intensity, even with love in your eyes, your cat's nervous system starts to read it as tension. You'll see the signs if you know what to look for: a slight look away, a lip lick, a yawn, a subtle lowering of the head. The right kind of eye contact is soft. It's relaxed. Your face is loose. Your eyes are slightly squinted, not wide and fixed. Think about how you look at someone you feel completely at ease with. That softness is what your cat's brain is reading. Make this a daily habit. Every morning when your cat is calm and near you, look at them with soft eyes and slightly raised eyebrows. Hold it for just a few seconds and let your face be warm. Your cat will hold that gaze longer. Their tail will move differently. Their whole body will shift from alert to at ease. Keep watching because we're just getting started. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside your cat's brain when they're just lying around while you're at work running errands or even just sitting in the next room. Cats are problem-solving animals. Their brains were shaped over millennia by a life that required stalking, decision-making, reading environmental cues, and executing complex behaviors to survive and hunt alongside humans. They were bred, literally bred, to have instincts, pouncing, climbing, guarding, retrieving. The mental output required for those tasks isn't just a nice bonus. It's a biological need. When that need goes unmet, something happens that most owners mistake for bad behavior. Scratching furniture, vocalizing at nothing, pacing, knocking things off counters, stealing hair ties. These aren't your cat being naughty. These are the behavioral symptoms of a brain that has too much capacity and not enough to do with it. A study from the University of Bristol found that cats who received daily mental enrichment food puzzles, hunting games, clicker training sessions showed lower levels of stress hormones than cats who only received physical activity. Mental stimulation was more powerful at reducing stress than a high-speed chase. The daily habit here takes 5 minutes. Hide small portions of your cat's food around the house and let them sniff it out. Teach them one new word or behavior each week and practice it for 3 minutes a day. Use a slow feeder or puzzle bowl at meal time. Make them work just a little for something they want. What happens when you do this consistently isn't just a better behaved cat. It's a cat who looks at you as the source of the most satisfying thing in their entire day. Their brain lights up, their confidence grows, and they start orienting toward you, not just out of habit, but because you're genuinely the most interesting thing in their world. And speaking of what goes on in your cat's brain, this next one is about something almost invisible that your cat is doing right now today, that most owners completely overlook. This one sounds too simple to be real, but the research behind it is some of the most compelling in the entire field. Most owners believe that bonding with their cat requires active engagement, playing, training, petting. So, when they're sitting on the couch reading and their cat is just near, by doing nothing, they feel like the relationship is on pause. It's not. Cats are proximity animals. One of the most fundamental ways they express trust and affection is simply by choosing to be near you. Not asking anything of you, not performing, just being in the same space. Researchers have found that the mere presence of their owner without any interaction at all causes measurable reductions in a cat's heart rate and cortisol levels. Your calm presence by itself is biologically regulating your cat's nervous system. You are their safe zone, their anchor, and they don't need you to do anything to feel it. They just need you to be there. Every time your cat chooses to come lie near your laptop instead of going to the other room, that's a vote. Once a day, sit somewhere in your home and just let your cat exist near you with zero agenda. No commands, no petting unless they initiate it, no calling their name. Just coexist. Let them do whatever they want. What you'll notice over days and weeks is that the distance between where you sit and where your cat chooses to be gets smaller. They move closer. They relax faster. They sleep deeper. Because to a cat, the safest place on earth is wherever you are. If that feels profound, go back to that reunion energy. that biological need to complete a greeting ritual. Now, let's go deeper into the mechanics of how cats actually experience those first moments of contact, because most owners are skipping the most important step entirely. Cats don't lead with their eyes. They don't lead with sound. They lead with their nose. The nose is, without exaggeration, the primary way your cat understands the world. Cats have up to 200 million scent receptors. Humans have about 6 million. The part of the brain dedicated to analyzing smells is proportionally much larger in cats than in humans. What this means is that every interaction your cat has with another cat, with a stranger, with you begins with a sniff. That sniff isn't a greeting behavior. It's your cat's entire intake system doing its job. Now, think about what most owners do before petting their cat. They just reach out and touch them, especially on the top of the head, which is one of the least preferred petting spots for many cats. Reaching over the top of the head from above triggers a subtle flinch response because objects coming from overhead read as potential threats. Here's what changes everything. Every single time before you pet your cat, present your finger at their nose level, not in their face, just nearby, within reach. Let them come to it. Let them sniff. When they do, you'll feel their nose press into your finger, and you might notice their body relax. That's the sniff completing the intake process. Then, and only then, pet them around the cheeks or on the chin first. This takes 3 seconds, but those 3 seconds completely change the texture of the interaction. You become the person who waits for the sniff, who lets them lead. Have you ever walked past your cat while they were sleeping and just couldn't resist leaning down to pet them? Or pick them up mid-nap because they looked too peaceful and perfect? Of course you have. We all have. But here's what's actually happening. Cats sleep between 12 and 16 hours per day. That's not laziness. Sleep is when your cat's brain consolidates everything it learned. It's when stress hormones reset. And deep sleep, the stage where your cat might twitch, is the stage where all of that critical work happens. It's also the stage where your cat is most vulnerable. They chose that spot and that moment because they felt safe enough to be completely defenseless. When you interrupt that with sudden touch or being picked up, your cat startles from deep vulnerability into sudden alertness with no context. Even if they immediately recognize you, something was registered at the neurological level. That spot became slightly less safe. Do this consistently, and your cat will start moving their sleeping spots to more hidden locations. They're finding places where their sleep won't be interrupted. The habit here is easy. When your cat is asleep, leave them alone. Walk past, resist the urge, let them finish. What you'll notice is that when they wake up on their own and come find you, the greeting is warmer, more present, because they're coming from rest, not from interrupted vulnerability. This brings us to the final daily habit, the thing that once you understand it will change the way you touch your cat for the rest of your life. Remember how eye contact releases oxytocin. There's a physical interaction that goes even further. When cats in the same colony groom each other, called allo-grooming, they groom specific areas they can't reach themselves. The base of the ears, the back of the neck, the area between the shoulder blades. Because of that, the only way a cat ever experiences touch in those spots is from someone they trust completely. That exclusivity makes those areas neurologically different. When those spots are touched in a slow, gentle, repetitive way, the cat's brain registers belonging. Every single day, take 60 seconds and do this with your cat in a calm, relaxed state. Place your hand at the base of their skull, right where the neck meets the head. Use your fingertips, not your palm. Apply gentle, slow, circular pressure. Move down the back of the neck toward the shoulders. Think about the rhythm of waves. Watch your cat's response. Their head will drop slightly. Their eyes will soften or close. Their breathing will slow and deepen. These are the physiological signatures of an oxytocin in release in your cat's brain.